What's going on YouTube? It's Jesse coming back to you with another video, and in this video I'm going to be explaining how to make money from high ticket sales. In case you're new tuning into this channel, we talk all things email copywriting, inbound closing, and coaching, high ticket or low ticket coaching if you're trying to start that kind of business. But I recommend you start with email copywriting and high ticket sales first, one or the other, and then transfer into coaching if you're brand new. If you're not brand new, then yeah, you should be starting a coaching business. If you're trying to scale your business, our top client did $200,000 in a single month, so we definitely know how to get you to those insane numbers. So definitely book a call if you're anyone that's trying to start a six-figure business or you're trying to scale to seven-figure. Anyway, back to the video. Here's how to make money in high-ticket sales. I've sold, personally, well over $1 million on the internet. A lot of that was from high-ticket sales, and what I can say is there's a general script you need to follow on your sales calls. There's a lot of different methods to sell over the phone. You can go with a more passive approach. You can go with a more aggressive approach. Aggressive approach tends to lead to more chargebacks. So you really want to find an in-between ground of the two methods. But what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to start out by explaining how to get yourself an actual client. Because it really doesn't matter if you don't know how to get clients to sell for their product. Who cares if you know the exact script? It doesn't matter. You've got to get a client first, then you can start selling the shit out of it. You honestly can learn a script in a day. You're going to struggle probably your first couple days, first couple weeks, but at least you can get a client first, then worry about, selling properly over the phone. What you're going to want to do too is try to target clients that are in the up and coming phase. People that aren't super big where they're not going to settle for anything less than a 25-50% close rate, but people that aren't too small, they don't have any book calls yet. So it's kind of tricky when you're starting out in inbound closing. That's why I would recommend you start with email copywriting first. But if you want to do inbound closing, it is a little bit easier as far as the amount of workload you got to do to get a client. You only got to get one client. Email copywriting, you usually got to have a handful of them to make the same amount of money. That's just my experience. It could differ from person to person to person. You usually want to start with email copywriting, then maybe sprinkle an inbound closing job somewhere, and then ultimately you want to start coaching. But here's how I would go and find myself a client in 2 seconds to sell for over the phone. All right, so what I would do first is I would join Facebook groups. This is the first thing you should do if you want to kill it as a closer. You got to get a client, right? You only need one client. That's all you need, one client, and you can make six figures. But I would start with finding groups that have your ideal client in them. So a good example would be coaches, experts, and course creators, seven-figure selling secrets, any group that has a bunch of coaches inside of it. And that's exactly who you're going to hit up. It's that simple. So what you can do is you can start by posting in the group that you're an inbound closer looking for work. That's pretty easy, and that's not really, I don't think that'll get you banned from any groups really, because it's not really like you're pitching a course or anything. You're just pitching yourself. So that's very, very unlikely to get you banned from the group. So I would make a post. So you just come over here, write something. I would do a pink one right here. Be like, hey, I'm an inbound closer. I'm looking for work. Does anyone have any work? I'm brand new, but I'm a hard worker. I'm loyal. I'm willing to work for maybe less percentage than someone else. I have a script. I'm loyal. Put all the perks of being, and I'm just looking for a shot. That's what you got to do as a beginner. I'm looking for a shot. I'm willing to get paid less than other people starting out. Maybe you have past sales experience that you can pull from. Maybe that's always a plus. That's what you want to do. Start posting in these groups. Now you can also start friending the people in the groups that you see are coaches. Friend them and then shoot them a DM. And I would recommend you do an audio DM to them once they accept your friend request. If they don't accept your friend request, then you still can shoot them an audio DM, but the odds of them listening to it are very slim because they're not your friend. So I would start, the two activities would be I'd post in the group that you're an inbound closer looking for work, and I would also start friending the coaches inside the groups and sending them audio messages of how you're motivated, you're willing to take less per sale, you already have maybe some sales experience, you have a script you're going to follow, you've been role playing with other closers perhaps. You can go role play you can come into my group if you want and role play with my members. You can go into the inbound closer group and role play in there. But I would get practicing on your script because you have no experience. And then that's, again, why I say you should start with email copywriting first. It's easier to get clients with email copywriting. But inbound closing tends to be more lucrative quickly because, boom, you're on their calendar, you're closing deals. Retainer can also be fast money, but I don't know. It's just you're making more money when you're closing, in my personal experience, quicker than if you do email copywriting for clients. But this is for a very small, I think for a very small group of my followers that would want to do this kind of stuff, high ticket closing. I've done it personally, but most people tend to want to do email copywriting, but this is a great way to make a ton of money quick. You can work from anywhere in the world, just from your phone. Some clients might have you do it on Zoom, but most of the time you can do it over the phone, and you get paid 10, 20, 30% commission on each sale that you close, depending on the payment depending on the size of the commission. So that's the first two ways that I would do it. Now, you can also start, like I've shown in other videos, go onto Instagram, get email addresses of coaches, and cold email them directly. That's another way you could do it. You could also look for other closers and ask them if they have opportunities. That's the fourth way. So number one was post in groups. Number two is friend coaches and audio message them. Number three is go on Instagram and get the coaches their email addresses, pull it from mobile, and cold email them. And number four is you could find other inbound closers and ask them if they know of anyone looking for work, because inbound closers always have the scoop from their client when they're needing to scale with more closers. A fifth way that you can do is you can look for ads. Like this guy right here runs tons of ads looking for closers. You can apply to the ad. Then they look at your application. They decide if you're good enough for an interview. Then they interview you, and then you can get a job as an inbound closer through them. I recommend not doing that. That's the fifth one for a reason, because it's super competitive when you go through that way. The best way, in my opinion, is to go into Facebook groups, kind of humble yourself, and just say, hey, I'm looking for work. Does anyone have it? I'm going to put in the work. Pay me less. Pay me 8% starting out. I got a script. I've already been role playing. I'm really looking for a gig. And you can find maybe a client that's not really competitive, not sweaty, more like a digital marketing agency versus a coach or a course seller. They tend to be a little bit easier deals because you're selling B2B, so it's not as high pressure. That's what I've seen. B2B tends to be not as high pressure. It's more like touching base with people because there's so many different layers, so you're not going to be able to close the deal on one phone call anyway. So you gotta like work it up the chain in the business. So it's easier to do those kinds of gigs for digital marketing agencies that run, digital marketing services versus a coach who's selling a make money online course. See the difference? It's going to be less pressury on the digital marketing client than on the coach who needs a specific percentage closed. And yeah, that's what I would do if I was starting out, wanted to get into high ticket sales. If you want the exact script, we have the exact script inside the Coaching Superiority Mentorship Program right now. I might make it publicly free in the future. Now, the script is not like exact for every single niche. It's just the one that I've used to close a lot of money over the phone. And it's really, to sum it up for you, it's going to be, you start out the call by framing the call, you frame it. So this is how the call is going to go, blah, blah, blah. Try to be, have some pleasantries in there. The next part is diving into questions, but those questions need to be prepped. You need to prep these questions before you start asking them to dig into the pain points of the person. Why did they book the call? What are they trying to achieve? How long has that been going on? What do you do if you stay where you're at? And then you ask them permission, say, hey, it looks like what you're trying to do is a great fit for our service to fix. Would you like me to walk you through how our product works? Then you go into the whole offering. You tell them what it's all about, give them the perks, but when you give them the perks, you keep telling them, it's more like it's going to give you that financial freedom to work from your laptop anywhere in the world versus telling them it's 2 Zoom calls a week, it's got this and this and this. That's boring. People don't want that. They want to hear more of like what they're going to be able to get, how much money they're going to be able to make, the freedom they're going to achieve, what they actually want. You don't want to stay on the actual stuff they're going to get for too long. The stuff that they want is what you want to be talking about. And then finally, you go to the close, and you can just sit there and wait for them to ask for the price. You can do that. It's a little bit salesy, in my opinion, like a little bit turn off. People put up their red flag when they kind of have to do that. Or you could just drop the price, and then whenever you drop the price, just shut up. I don't care if you wait for them to ask for the price or you flat out tell them the price. And you can also be like, hey, based on all of that I just told you about the offer, does this sound like a good fit for you and what you're trying to achieve? If they say no, Then you dig into why. If they say yes, then you kind of got them tied down so that they're kind of committed a little bit. And then you can go into, all right, so the price is this, and then shut up. Then they're going to give you their objections, and I have to make full other videos on how to deal with the objections. You know, the three most common objections are spouse, they don't have the money, or they don't believe in it yet. They don't fully believe in what you have to offer. If they don't fully believe in it, you did something wrong earlier. But the money and the spousal objection are pretty darn easy to get through, but I'll make that in separate videos. All right, guys, hope you found massive value in this video. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching to become an email copywriter or an inbound closer, or you want to start your own high-ticket or low-ticket course or program, definitely book a one-on-one call with me. We'll chat on a quick Zoom, see if we're a good fit to work with each other for the mentorship program, which right now is 6 months, by the way, so it's a long-ass program, but that's by design because we want to make sure there is absolutely zero reason you should fail because you have that much time working with me, and we're also going to work to get you that investment made back. It's just that simple. We're going to work until you've made your investment back, period. That's one of the guarantees in the program, right now at least. I also have a quick course down below for Twitter. If you're looking to just monetize your Twitter, that's how I do $47 to $850 days with Twitter alone. Definitely recommend you get that. It's only $7. It's a quick course. Teach you everything I know about Twitter, and you can grow that thing to 5, 10K a month if you want with just your Twitter account. It's going to be a little bit harder than the other methods, but it's doable, and you can be growing that, you know, in parallel to doing all of your other stuff like email copywriting, running your high ticket program, or becoming an inbound closer. Definitely also join the Facebook group if you haven't already. It's free. Everyone in there is trying to be a coach, a course creator, trying to be an email copywriter, inbound closer. Plenty of people have quit their jobs from this business. They're willing to help out if you just post questions in there. We also have weekly live Zoom calls, so you can show up to those and get all your questions answered on the live Zoom calls. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my future videos. Peace.